The Warner Brothers Studio Store was a chain of retail stores selling Looney Tunes, DC Comics, and other merchandise based on Warner Brothers films that opened in 1991 and closed in 2001. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified of my latest video. Make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment or a suggestion. You might see that in a future video. Thanks for watching, and now back to a regular scheduled program.
Well, Christmas is coming. Not a lot of time to find the right gifts for everybody.
Where can stocking?
There's so much Christmas fun at the Warner Brothers Studio Store.
Oh, you handsome devil.
And great values, too.
Cheese. Oh, good taste. Better taste.
The Warner Brothers Studio Store. Great gifts to wear.
My shorts.
And great gifts
To eat.
Call 1-800-4WARNER for the Warner Brothers Studio Store nearest you.
The first Warner Brothers Studio Store was opened on Friday, September 20th, 1991 at the Beverly Center in Los Angeles, California by Time Warner. During the 1990s, back when retail stores were the #1 place for consumers to shop, one of the best and most creative retailers on the high street was Warner Brothers. Yep, that movie animation specialist had its own series of WB stores, better known as the Warner Brothers Studio Stores. Those interested in all things WB could get their fix on the Looney Tunes, DC superheroes, and classic Warner Brothers movies all under one roof via a collection of stores dedicated to colorful characters. Filled with all different types of memorabilia, from keychains and cups to animation cells, t-shirts, and more, Warner Brothers Studio Stores was an exciting place to part with your cash. Some of the store's attractions included a glass elevator carried by Superman and a 4D experience, Marvin the Martian in the Third Dimension, the first ever 3D computer animated movie produced in the world. Not only did the studio stores boast a range of neat products, including many exclusive items, they also looked amazing too. The exterior of each store boasted huge statues, usually of a classic Looney Tunes character, while inside various movies, comics, and cartoons were referenced throughout. There was even a dedicated zone for DC Comics. Perhaps one of the biggest highlights was the in-store gallery, which featured various pieces of artwork from classic Warner Brothers cartoons. For fans of Batman, the animated series, Freakazoid, Looney Tunes, and Tasmania, this was a perfect treasure trove of delights, chock full of one-of-a-kind pieces of art that you simply couldn't find anywhere else. These gallery pieces carried a hefty price tag, but they were simply stunning and a real draw for customers. Even if customers couldn't afford one, they would still pop into the store just to take a look at what was available, as it was something to truly marvel at. Of course, maybe we should have bought some of the stuff instead of just marveling at it, as there was always seemed to be more people walking around the store than actually buying anything. And that's the problem when you make your store so exciting to look at. The customers forget to open their wallets. Warner Brothers owner Time Warner merged with Turner Broadcasting, which owned Hanna-Barbera and the pre-1986 MGM library, including the iconic classic The Wizard of Oz. In 1996, merchandise based on Turner properties were added to the product lines. So what do you remember about this store? For me, it was always the portraits in the gallery, because I always thought, hey, I always wanted to be a cartoonist when I was a kid. And it never happened, but hey, now I got this YouTube channel. So, what was your favorite memory of this store? Leave a comment on the bottom below. Thanks. The Warner Brothers Studio Store had 130 locations at its peak. In January of 2001, the AOL-Time Warner merger was completed, at which time the chain was placed up for sale with plans to close if not sold. A year earlier, American Online, AOL, announced it would buy Time Warner for $182 billion in stock and debt, making it the largest corporate merger in U.S. history at that time. In February 2001, the flagship location on New York's Fifth Avenue was closed, and on September 11, 2001, the store at the World Trade Center was destroyed when the Twin Towers collapsed. High-profile stores in Los Angeles and Palo Alto were also closed. In July, AOL Time Warner announced that the chain, then consisting of 85 stores, will be shut down as the company moved out of the owned and operated retail business. Its three-story, 40,000 square foot Times Square location started liquidation in July and closed in October. Warner Brothers then placed the building up for rent without the billboards. The last stores closed on December 31st, 2001. So what happened? Many argue that stale merchandise and a shrinking retail market doomed the stores back in 2000, which was later used as an excuse by executives to pull the plug on what was deemed a retail distraction. Back in January of 2001, Warner merged with AOL, who most people will remember as the biggest internet provider at the time and a company whose free CDs ended up cluttering up people's homes throughout the country. Anyway, the merger invited a whole new set of CEOs into the business, most of whom had very little patience for t-shirts, plastic tumblers, and rocket ships. Coupled with the fact that Warner Brothers had struggled to get a decent film hit in the late 1990s, as well as the Looney Tunes pretty much disappearing off the face of the earth, time was called on the WB store Vision. But just in case you still want to go to one, check out the one in Burbank at the Warner Brothers Studios. Hey, if you just watched my video, thanks for watching. Hit that like button and please subscribe to Eric C. Productions.